Space.
Space. Space.
Bees.
Bees? Alright, bees.
Space bees.
Space bees? Space bees? You do need to play this game. It's really good. It might be my favorite game of 2023. Apiary at its heart is a worker placement game for 1 to 5 players. What makes this worker placement game better and different than other ones is that your little worker bees here have different strengths, and as they get bumped, they increase in strength. So 1 will turn into a 2, 2 turn into a 3. So all these spaces out here, players will be going to them, gathering resources, trying to amass the most points by the end of the game. Now, the spaces don't really get blocked. When you go to a space, usually your strength will dictate how powerful the move is, but then another player can move in there, and then they would just bump your bee off of the space. Now, when this happens to your bee, you have 2 options. You can either increase the bee's strength, or you can send it to your landing area. The reason you would want to maybe send it to your landing area is you can't use that bee right now, but instead of placing bees on the board, you can retrieve your bees. Now, when you retrieve your bees, that is when you can activate some of these tiles that you have collected on the farm track. And these farming tiles can give you things such as points and resources that you need to get more tiles for your hive. Sorry to interrupt, but if you enjoy my content, please consider clicking that subscribe button and that notification bell. It would help out a lot. Players will receive one of these gigantic hive mats and a docking mat and a starting faction tile. And all of these starting faction tiles are asymmetric, adding a little extra replay value to the game, and sometimes it might even change what your starting bees are. So one of the main ways that you get resources in this game is you'll take the explore action. So you'll send one of your worker bees to the explore space. Now you'll look at the sum of the 1 or 2 bees that are there, and that is how many spaces you can move the queen ship. So in this case, I can only move the queen ship 1 space because there's only 1 bee there and it's a level 1. So I can move here. Now I get to flip over this explore token. Oh, here I got 2 bumps on the queen's favor track. The queen's favor is a track at the bottom of the board that you can advance on throughout the game, and at the end of the game you can get some pretty decent points from it. Then you get to explore this planet. Let's see what planet I found. I found Faba. Hello, mother. Hello, Faba. Now see, there's an empty space there. Now I get to decide what resource was discovered on that planet. Say I want fiber. Maybe we found fiber there. And no, it's not the kind of fiber that makes you poop, although you may experience some kind of movements if you did partake in eating some of these. So you would put 1 on there, and then you would get to receive 1 because that's what you found on that planet. Now you do have limited storage here on your player area. You can only store as many resources as you have slots for, and these spots do dictate what resources can be stored in each spot on your player board. And then some of these will also give you extra perks if you did send a bee there that was level 4 or higher. Now, while I'm talking about the level 4 or higher bees, should you have a bee that should age to a level 5 strength, there isn't a level 5 strength. So anytime a level 4 should get older, what it does is it actually hibernates. So then you'll take 1 of your hibernation tokens and you will put it on 1 of the spaces on the hibernation comb. Now, you will get a one-time bonus when you place your bee down there, but it's largely an area control game down there, where whoever has the most hibernated bees in each section will win the printed amount of points down there. And now once you've gotten some of these resources, another good place to go is the advance section here on the board. And this is where you get kind of like a nice little engine builder to the game. You get to purchase any of these tiles, but you have to add the strength between your bee and the other bees there, and that will dictate how far along you can purchase. These are great tiles because you get to add them to your player mat here, and when you do so, those are the actions that when you recall your bees, these green ones, these are the ones that you can activate. So the top of these tiles is a perk and the bottom is a cost. So as you can see, all these recruit ones, they all take the honeycomb resources. These bottom ones, they all take the wax resource, not to be confused with Rolos, because they look like Rolos. They 100% look like Rolos. Everyone I know calls them Rolos. Another spot you'll want to explore is the convert spot down here, and this is where you can just dance the night away with your bee. You can convert some of your things. You can trade resources for other resources, and it's one of the easier ways to get the honey pots. Now the honey pots are awesome because you can use those at the carve space, and here is where you get these super strong, super valuable carve tokens, and those can really give you some heavy-duty points if you're able to meet the conditions on them. And that's why they're so expensive and difficult to get. And if you notice, at the carve space, you have to put a level 4 bee there. So you better plan ahead if you're wanting to get one of those sweet, sweet tiles down there. Now, in addition to trading resources for other resources down here at the convert space, you can do a dance or teach a dance if you sent a bee with a strength of 4 or higher. So you would go through here, these tiles, and you could say, let's have the dance of sacrifice for honey, which is personally my second favorite dance right after the Macarena. That joke sucks. Was it the delivery that was bad too? And then once you do that, you can place one of your little QB marker boys down there. Now, anytime anyone else does the dance of sacrifice for honey, you also get a bump on the queen's favor track. And down here is the grow space, and that is how you can get more worker bees. And you can also get extensions for your player board here. So you can put these little mats on there, and you kind of want these because not only do they allow you to grow and get even more of these tiles for your engine building, but also if you fill in this little extra mat, that will give you 8 points. And if you fill in your original player mat, you get 8 points as well. And 8 points, especially if you're able to get an extension and fill them both in, 16 points, that can definitely make or break your score by the end of the game. And just below that is the research. And down there is where you can get seed cards. These seed cards, you can either use them for the top ability, which is a one-time use, and some of them are pretty good, or the bottom half is an in-game scoring. So if you send a level 4 bee down there, you can also plant one of those. And planting them is basically how you are eligible for using the card for its bottom half, the in-game scoring. And that is Apiary in a nutshell. Or in a honeycomb, or in a kind of one of those, we have those mud bee things, the mud wasp or something, and they're in the corner of the garage all the time. When I first heard of this game, I looked it up, and the box art kind of grabbed my attention, and then I saw, the screenshot or the picture of the game, like the board and stuff on a table, and for whatever reason, when I saw that, it didn't really grab me. But it is a Stonemaier game, and a lot of their games I really enjoy, so I pursued it a little further and got a copy. And one Friday night, friends came over, cracked it open, set it up, and we played it. And I thought, well, this game is fun. This is a good game. But then another friend came, and Mike's like, dude, I got to try that. Let's play it again. So we played it again. And after my second play and third play and fourth play, like every time I play this game, I love it more and more. I think it's my favorite game released of 2023. Can't say that yet because it's only December, but it's definitely in the top 5. And I think it's going to be my favorite game released in 2023. This is a fantastic game. The worker placement is awesome. I love the amount of player interaction where the game is, I think, intentionally designed to be kind of not mean, but it sort of is mean in this weird, like, passive-aggressive manner, because everything on there, it feels like you're racing to do everything. Oh, there's a good tile out. I'm going to race to get it. Oh, we're moving up on the queen's favor track. I'm going to race ahead to get, further along on there. Oh, I want to discover some more places with the explore action. I'm going to race to be the first one to get all the explore tokens. It feels like it's constantly, everything you do is a race, and it is time sensitive. And I think it's awesome because you don't really block players out of spaces. So you're not really pooping on someone's turn, but someone can slide in there and then bump you and then bump your bee up, which is cool because your bees get stronger. But eventually they have to hibernate, so you throw them down there, and then it's like an area control game mixed in. It's just a fantastic game. It's a great amount of engine builder and player interaction. I love worker placement games. I do think that for whatever reason, I feel like the table presence in person is nice because all the components are great. The giant bee ship, your bees, which in my opinion are the star of the show. Those are so cool. How it's almost like a D6, but with a bee butt and a bee head on it, and to change the strength level on them. Those bee pieces make the game, and when you collect them, being able to trigger the engine building with the green tiles. That is just, it's amazing. It's so good. However, I feel like, all the seed cards, I get it, they're just seeds and largely in-game points. I think it would have been kind of neat maybe if there was some art on those, but whatever. And the tiles, I feel like the art in this game is good. It's very good. The board's big and beautiful and stuff. However, I do think the score track is kind of weird. Like, they didn't really lighten up the score track enough. Like, the score track is really kind of dark and some of the numbers are hard to read, so that would have been cool if they would have made that brighter. But I feel like the art that's on the tiles is a little low-key good. Like, it doesn't really grab your attention, but I understand, there has to be a lot of text on them without just having the iconography be out of control. But the iconography is good. It comes with player aids. The teach on this game is very bizarre because I feel like to understand the game, you almost have to look at it from like a macro, like a wide lens for it to all make sense, but you kind of have to teach it in a micro type, the explore, this is how you explore, stuff like that. I do feel though that you don't really have to kind of teach like, all the rules. Say like the explorer, the person doesn't need to know that, oh, they flip this over and this is what they get. They get an explore token. Oh, and you get to flip this over and then you can choose what resource you found there. So like, you go to this place to get resources. You're going to have to get resources. You're going to have to go there. So you can just go there on your turn and see how it works. But yeah, so the teach is bizarre. I really, really recommend after you play it once, immediately play it again while it's still fresh in your head. And if you do, like that second game can be a brutal fight, a lovely fight that you'll enjoy. But I just cannot recommend this game enough. Definitely pick it up. This one is 100% staying in the Beards collection. I'm giving this one 5 out of 5 Beard strokes. Definitely one of, if not my favorite game that was released in 2023. This game, superb. Definitely pick it up. Staying in the Beards collection. And if you found this episode entertaining or informative, please consider clicking that subscribe button.